The first question was, what climate-related issues have affected me in my country? I live in Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, we are facing extreme weather patterns due to climate change, since we know Bangladesh is the most climate vulnerable countries around the world. In Bangladesh, we are facing erratic weather patterns. At the same time, we are facing extreme temperature rise, and precipitation has increased in Bangladesh due to climate change. And at the same time, Bangladeshi people are experiencing mental and physical health issues due to an effect of climate change. In our country, the respiratory diseases and waterborne diseases like cholera, dysentery have already increased due to an influence of climate-related issues in our country. Well, the second question was, what type of action can make a difference? To combat climate change in Bangladesh, we can encourage people to use renewable energy sources like solar energy, wind energy, and hydropower. At the same time, we can encourage industrial sector and agricultural people to adopt solar panels and solar powers to combat climate crisis. At the same time, if we educate our school-going children about our energy crisis and environmental crisis due to climate change, we can mitigate a fraction of the crisis and at the same time it will help us if we update our water governance policy and our environmental policy of ECA 1995 and ECR 1997 that has been developed by Bangladeshi government. If we update both of these laws, then it will help us to fight against climate crisis. The third question was, who needs to act on climate change? Well, to combat climate crisis, the policyholders, environmentalists, environmental engineers, and people who are working in the government sector should come forward to make joint efforts to fight against climate change. And the Paris Agreement was to keep global warming below 2 degrees Celsius, and to pursue limits to pursue efforts to limit it to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And we are heading towards reaching a net zero emission by the mid of the century, and that's why we are right now taking a proper mitigating actions to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. And industry owners, industry people, policymakers, stakeholders, people who are doing policy advocacy in the non-profit organizations, at the same time working at United Nations or any other international organizations, they should come forward, and companies, brands should come together at a joint platform to fight against climate crisis and to act on climate action.